So, Ryan, this is how I normally speak English. I believe you will recognize it as a fairly American way of talking. And I assure you, nobody ever taught me to speak this way. As in, nobody ever said, okay, this is how you say it, that is how you say that, or whatever. I learned this way of speaking watching cartoons as a 5-year-old. My oldest memory of being able to speak English is from being 6 years old. Bloody mosquitoes. Already August, but it's still 2 of them annoying me. Anyways, I'm making this video for the purpose of showing you that the way I was actually taught to speak English is nothing like this. I've not spoken like this in years, but here goes. So, I was taught to speak English in the proper British fashion. You know, the posh British, they would speak. The upper class of the British Empire would speak in the 20th century. That is the English that I was taught in school, starting from the age of 10. Notice how it is nothing like what I normally speak. It is, in fact, rather different. Mosquitoes are a nuisance. An annoying nuisance, to say the least. Suffice to say, I believe I have demonstrated the point that I do not speak English anything like an American. In school, I did not anyway. You did hear previously how I speak English normally, and it is very American in origin. But the way I speak English right now is not American at all, it is properly British. Funny is how people in Great Britain itself do not speak this way. This is, of course, the speech of the upper class of the empire, not the lower classes which make up the majority of the population. The ones who would continue to develop their speech to be even less comprehensible, not only making it unrhotic, the same way as the upper class speech is unrhotic, but also removing lots of t from their language, resulting in the mockery being used against them by saying that they are British. British. Yeah. In all honesty, I cannot speak any British English other than this. I pronounce it as British. We have proper r. Not really a r, but not a nothing. And I do use a proper t, rather than which is a glottal stop, to say the linguistic term. It cuts off your air supply from the lungs, that is how the sound is made. I heavily dislike the sound and only use it in the expression, uh-oh. Yeah, which is a way Americans speak too. They say, uh-oh. The is a glottal stop. Yes, I have not spoken like this in a long time. I have a hard time switching between one and the other. In fact, for the previous year, my ways of speaking have been merging. There is a third way I speak, which is to speak with a Latvian accent. It is the way I have heard English spoken most often IRL. You see, we were taught British English in school, but my classmates couldn't actually speak it properly. So I would end up hearing a lot of the sort of speech you are hearing right now, and it has left an impact on me, as I myself speak it like this. And that I learned it at school in most obvious by the fact that I use the British water rather than the American water. Because, you know, water, water. And when you use a Latvian accent for that, you get either water or water. And when I speak with a Latvian accent, I use water. Enough of this rambling, you get the idea. I will say one more thing, since I'm making a video, and thus I am able to record the audio. My username, which is not my real name, but it is a pun based on my real name I've been using since I was a teenager, is Gunnar Smiesis. Yes, the proper way to call me is Gunnar Smiesis. Notice the aborts with a line on top. That means it's a long vowel. That's ah. It's not an a, it's an a. Gunnars. We Latvians stress the first syllable just like in English. In English, this is due to it being a Norman Creole. Latviski, this is due to Livonian influence, because again, the Indo-Europeans stress the third syllable from the back is a lot more complex than simply stress the first syllable, so foreigners learning Indo-European languages will often simply stress the first syllable, because there aren't that many more than 3-syllable words. But yeah. This is how I learned to speak English, by simply watching YouTube videos, watching cartoons, watching films. And this is the English I learned at school, which is the British English that used to be spoken in the past.